the ANZ Business Leader Boardroom series. In this second webisode of the series, Go Networking's Ron Gibson, together with some of the nation's elite business writers, will show you the best ways to network and build sustainable relationships. Over the next 20 minutes, we will help you understand how to successfully network with business professionals as well as other potential clients. Networking is not just about talking to people and handing out business cards. Similarly, it's not just about going to networking events or conferences. Networking is fundamentally about establishing meaningful and ongoing relationships with people, and we're going to show you how to do that today. So let's get started. Download your workbook now. You'll find the link under this video, and then follow along with this webisode as we guide you on how to network. There will be times throughout this webisode where you'll be required to fill in your workbook, so make sure you pause the video and give yourself plenty of time to complete the tasks. If you do that, then at the end of this webisode, you should have all the tools needed to network successfully with business professionals and potential clients. In addition, you will also receive 2 CPD points, which we'll give you the code for at the end of this webisode. Throughout this, you'll hear from a lot of different people with various insights. To get the most value from this webisode, always be thinking about how the information provided can apply to your business. Before you can understand how to network effectively, you must first understand what networking is.
Are you networking? Do you really know you're networking? And what's the difference between selling and socialising and networking? And are you getting the balance right? I think it's critical that we know the difference between these 3 forms of business development, and they're all important. But networking is not socialising. I'm not saying that networking shouldn't be fun, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be social. It should be both of those things. But when you're engaging with people face to face, when you're networking with them over the telephone, when you're using other forms of communication to network with people, if you're not sharing information, if you're not agreeing to next steps, if you're not working out and finding out how you can be helpful to each other, if you're not following up to nurture and to build and to grow the relationship, if you're just turning up to networking functions and events and collecting business cards and sticking those cards in a drawer somewhere and letting them gather dust on your desk or something like that, I put that down as socialising. It's not networking. Networking is about building relationships with people such that they understand what you do, such that they trust you, and such that they feel comfortable talking about you out in the marketplace to their friends and associates and recommending your services and you as a person. And there is a time and place for all of these things when you need to put the networking cap on, the sales cap on, or just being plain social and not discussing business at all with some people. But are you getting the balance right? And the reason why so many people fail at their attempts at networking, or don't get the results that they could be getting with their networking. In other words, they're not getting the unsolicited referrals, the recommendations, the word of mouth that they want, is because they oscillate between socialising and selling. What is your biggest challenge with networking?
I don't think it's difficult to find people. Every time you have a customer that's looking to buy a property, you speak to their agent, you speak to their solicitor conveyancer. So, finding people to network with is not that difficult. It's finding the time to devote to it.
Yes.
Because it takes a lot of time and a long time to set networks up with agents, because as everyone knows, they've got to trust you, and they will give you their worst customer that nobody else, that the loan's been declined with everyone else, and you've got to try to fix it. So it's putting the time for me.
The trust with real estate, or you talk to them for a while, and you might give them a couple of referrals, and then they'll send you back a pretty dodgy one that they want fixed. And they've already got their own brokers in there, so we've just started up as a new shop. They've probably got all their own brokers in there already.
Now that you understand what networking is, it's a good time to pause this video and jot down some notes that will help you network effectively. With that step out of the way, the next important thing to understand is why you should network. Why is it so important to your business and your bottom line?
If you want more unsolicited referrals, you've got to give value in ways that go beyond what you sell and build the personal relationship. Not just, or not merely be the go-to expert in your field. That's not enough. You've got to have the personal connection.
What I have tried to do, I guess I try to do reverse networking. So if one of my clients rings me up and says, John, I need to speak to an accountant or a financial planner or a buyer's agent or something, I have got together about 6 people that I know who I've had contact with, who I've been particularly impressed with, so that when one of my clients rings up and says, John, do you know a good conveyancer or something, and then I can refer them to someone that I know is going to, who I know. I'm not doing it for any commercial reason, but I'm doing it because I know that that person is going to be really looked after. And then I just think that that will strengthen the relationship with the customer if I put them in contact with someone who's particularly good.
Pause this video now and take the time to write down the reasons why networking is important to your business. Are you struggling to attract new clients? Do you wish to generate more business opportunities from existing professional referral partners? Write down your reasons now. Now that you know why it's important, the next step is to identify your network. As a broker, it's important for you to identify the right potential business partner. You need to partner with businesses and business people that are likely, willing and able to refer you.
The key to connecting with people is to find things in common with them. That's why we need to be masters at the art of asking questions and listening to people. Because Ray, until you and I find something in common, it might be footy, it might be something as a hobby, or our kids going to the same school, or a book that we've read, or the fact that you're renovating a bathroom and I've just done mine and I've shared a couple of leads with a good tiler or a good tradesperson that you're looking for. Until we have that conversation, everything prior to that has just been so hard and so difficult and unrewarding. It might just be just hanging in there and finding that point of commonality. That's the key. And once you've got that point of commonality, you've got a foundation then to start to build on relationships. I believe the key to building relationships with people is to reach out to them one person at a time. One-to-one will always be more powerful than one-to-many. One-to-many is more about marketing, is more about selling. One-to-many is not relationship building. One-to-many is not networking. I'm not saying that one-to-many isn't something that you shouldn't be doing, you should. But one-to-one is the most powerful way to build trust and to get those relationships generating value for you. So what do you do to personally stay connected with people? Personally, you could do that with a text message. You could do that with an email. You can do that by picking up the telephone or taking a 6-pack or a pizza around to their office on 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and just having a good social time on a Friday evening. Or inviting them out to lunch or catching up one-to-one over a cup of coffee.
I had an accountant just around the corner who just by chance a number of my customers had used, and then he started referring other of his customers to me, and then I thought, well, why don't I make him my accountant? And now he's sending me a pretty good, I'm even doing a loan for him now. So if someone is really, really good, I try and become a client of them myself.
I had a similar experience to you with accountant. I always was under the bad habit of calling a referral partner and not keeping in touch and calling them maybe 3 or 4 months later saying, how you going? So we block off the afternoon of one Friday every single month now, religiously, and we meet up for a coffee and go through how we can help each other out. And I found that has significantly boosted the referrals that he's given to me, because now, like you've got your accountant that goes through the loan statements, he's incorporated into his inquiry form when he sees clients a mandatory review of a home loan. So that's great because he asks about their home loan. Are you happy with your current lender? What are you paying? Go see Steve straight away. So it's part of the inquiry form now. So it's part of it. It's actually part of his process. I'm involved with part of his standard process with a client. So I found that's been really good. Real estate agent, I go to the open houses that he has on a Saturday, and I give out my flyers to all the people that come to see the properties, and I found that's been very effective as well.
As you can see, it's important for you to take the lead on your referral partnerships. You need to refer them business before you can expect them to return the favour. Pause this video now and jot down the ways you're going to create referral partnerships and how you're going to make these work for you and your business. Now that you know who is going to be in your network, the next step you need to master is generating referrals.
One of the most powerful relationship building networking questions you can ever ask of someone else in business is this one, Sean. What's the most important thing to you about your practice? What's the most important thing to you about your business? What's the most important thing to you about your department? What's the most important thing about your work? If you know what the most important thing is to a real estate agent or to an accountant, and they've given you an honest answer, then you've always got the wherewithal to come back to them on the topic that they want to talk to you about, that they'll always return your phone calls about. Because what's the most important thing about their business might be growing it. It might be them finding other referral partners that can refer them business. It might have something to do with recruitment and retainment of good staff, running an internal mentoring program, getting their people to do business plans, those sorts of things. Sean, if we know what the most important thing is to our potential and our existing referral sources, we have the choice now to help them in the most important way to them. And I put it to you, and I put it to all of you, that your phone calls will always be returned. You'll always have someone who is keen to listen to what you have to say when you're talking to them about the most important thing about their business. I would suggest you get used to weaving that question into your conversations. It's powerful and it works. The trick is just to find the right time to do it.
What I try and do, particularly with professional referrers, is hunt business opportunities for them as much as I can, and particularly when I'm trying to get them in the habit of referring business to me, is obviously work out what sort of business they're looking for, and then try and think through my database as to who might be worthwhile them speaking to. And sometimes you get hits and sometimes you get misses. Some people aren't good at referring business out because they have a leap of faith thing, but every now and then, probably 1 in 4, you hit someone that's really appreciative in terms of getting 5 leads in a week. And sometimes you find that financial planners will jump all over you if you give them 5 insurance leads in a week or 2 weeks or a month. And so that's sort of what I try and do, is always try and keep in mind what they want and give it to them, and make sure that when I'm giving them a referral that it's relevant.
What I did recently for one of my accountancy referrals is that they were getting a bit stale, so I said to him, look, all I want you to do is when you're doing the tax returns and you see bank statements and home loan statements, anyone that's got over 7%, could you tell them that you might be able to get them a better rate, and can you get someone to give them a call? Because what I found is that a lot of people who are with personal bankers or with a bank direct will be left on a standard variable rate after they come off a fixed rate loan until they say something about it. And so I had this accountant, I said, look, just give it a shot and see how you go every time you see a statement. And he referred me 4 people in the next 5 days. So he looked like a rock star to his clients because he's being proactive rather than just going through their bits and pieces. I end up with a lot of new clients who he's already vetted for me and can give me all the information. In the way of what Will was saying, I became relevant.
There's another message here. As you're staying in personal touch with people, when you buy them a cup of coffee, when you send them an item of value, an article or a lead or an opportunity, oftentimes the very next day or within the next week, they're thinking of you and they respond in kind. So if you want to have more referrals, more word of mouth opportunities coming to you, this is the key. Reach out to people more personally, more consistently, with something of use or value to them. And remember that question, what's the most important thing to you about your business? What makes a good lead for you? When I'm talking to my clients, what do I need to hear from them? What questions could I ask of them that would determine that they are someone I should be introducing to you? When you're asking these questions of your customers, of your referral sources, you can and will spot opportunities that you can share with other people.
As you can see, there are plenty of ways for you to generate referrals. So pause this video now and take the time to contemplate exactly how you're going to generate business from your referral partners. What methods will you employ to ensure a steady stream of leads flow through your door? Now that you've worked out the methods you'll use to generate referral business partners and business opportunities, the next step is to work out when you'll implement these methods. At the end of the day, all businesses are different. They grow at different times. So it pays for you to have your own personal networking strategy.
Networking's always thrown to the bottom of the pile when you're under the pump and you've got to see 101 clients or you've got issues. So I've only been operating for about a year now, but I've tried to mitigate that by outsourcing all my admin and trying to use the extra time that I've gained from that to actually do networking and not waste it. So when I took over, I had about 300 people to call in the database, and you do feel a bit overwhelmed when you just look at the whole, I've got to call 300 people in the next 6 months or what have you, but I agree with you, you do 2 or 3 every day, and it's amazing over time how it does add up, and then 6 months later you're saying, wow, I actually got through that. A couple of brokers I know, they religiously, regardless of what is happening, they will every Friday after 12 p.m, they will have lunch with the networking partner, regardless of what's going on, and they do that religiously, and it's paying them dividends. They're doing extremely well, and they also call their clients every 3 months religiously as well, no exceptions. Because I find when you do drop that off, you do pay for it in 3 or 4 months when the pipeline starts to dwindle.
Yep.
So you've got sort of staggered settlements month after month. So I find it's having the discipline as well as keeping the side, making that as important as a deal that is going on and maintaining it.
Pause this video now and take the time to think about what stage your business is in. Are you just starting up? Are you looking to grow? Remember, all businesses grow differently, so think about your own personal networking strategy. Now that you've worked out what networking methods will work for you in this current stage of your business life, it's important for you to stay on track. To stay on track means touching base with your clients. You need to touch base with them on a regular basis. But how often is regular?
I think the greatest challenge with networking, the biggest part of networking, isn't just making the connection in the first place. It's developing the connection, not just as a customer or as a source of referrals, but as an advocate on an ongoing basis, and continually staying in touch, finding the time in your busy schedules to pinch a couple of moments every day. And I think it needs to be done every day to work it into your business routine, where you're reaching out in some way, not just with a new brochure or a new deal on interest rates or whatever it might be, to build that personal connection. That's the key to networking, to show that you care, to show that the relationship's important to you, to demonstrate that you're thinking about people even when they're not in front of you, so that they get this nice touch from you to remind them that you're still out there. They know what you do. They know that you're in business to get business. You don't have to keep ramming that down their throats. But staying in touch keeps you fresh in their minds.
First 12, 15 months we've just been flat out, not being able to keep up. But now we've got through to a process where we've got our database up and running properly. So we're sending letters out to customers, keep them at hand all the time, and also we set up the SMS so we can touch 700 customers at the push of a button saying that the rates have changed or whatever.
I'd like you to choose 4 names on your list of contacts. I'd like you to send them a text message. And what we're talking about here is resurrecting, reconnecting, touching base with people that have fallen off your radar screen, or you've been so busy that you haven't had a chance to touch base with them in recent times. And what you'll find is that 9 times out of 10, so long as the last exchange was a positive one with that person, when you shook hands or you hung up and there was a smile on their face and a smile on your face, if that was the scenario back then, don't hesitate to use this as a method to resurrect and to build or rebuild relationships with potential referral sources.
As you can see, there are plenty of ways you can touch base with your clients, be it via phone, email or SMS. The key is to touch base regularly. The more often you touch base, the stronger your relationships. Pause this video now and take the time to strategize exactly how you'll touch base with your clients. With that out of the way, the final step is staying on track. It's important for you to connect with new people every day and stay in touch with the people you've already connected with.
I think having a networking and relationship plan is important to get this networking relationship thing under control. I think you need to be focused, I think you need to be targeted, I think you need to be deliberate, you need to be proactive, words that we've used so far. And to be able to do those things, be proactive, be deliberate, be focused, be targeted with your networking, you need a plan, you've got to create one, and you've got to stick to it. And here's how you might consider doing it. Start with a list of 20 people, or categories of people, or categories of business that you don't know yet. This is a list that I think you need to do manually, not by way of fingertips on a keyboard. Start with a list of 20 types of businesses, or names if you know the people already because you've seen them in the business world, you've heard about them, but you don't know them yet. And as you reach out to number 1 on your list of 20 and you send them an email, maybe you've seen them post a blog somewhere, maybe you've seen them give a speech somewhere, maybe you've seen them in the press somewhere, maybe you've found their profile or something about them on LinkedIn, maybe they've been reported some way giving a speech at a conference or somewhere like that. Maybe they're just prominent in your community as being on a committee of a council or at a chamber of commerce or a business association. Send them an email, send them a text message and comment favourably on something about them. You've reached out to one person per day, but you've gone through your list of 20. Erica and everybody, if you do this on a consistent basis with that 20, 5 or 6 or 7 of those people will become relationships over time. It's important that you do that. Networking with your existing contacts will not give you the growth that you want. You need to build relationships with fresh people. With your network of 80, these are individuals that you already know. Every day, introduce 2 people to each other who would benefit from knowing each other based on your knowledge about them. Every day, send someone on that list of network of 80 an item of value that relates to their business. A resource, some advice, some knowledge about their business, a clipping about their industry, trends in their industry, advice on growing their business, maybe on how to put a business plan together, how to find and recruit the right people for their business. All of this knowledge that you guys have got and access to the great speakers that you have. These are people that have done business with you in the past. They've referred business to you in the past. These are the 80 contacts that if they gave you all the referrals they possibly could, if you were getting all the reorders from them, the repeat business that you possibly could, if they were sending you business on a regular basis, these are the people who could fill your business up with all the business, all the revenues that you could possibly want.
Pause this video now and think about your 80-20 contacts. Who would you like to get in touch with? Who would you like to stay in touch with more? Have a think about it. At the end of the day, networking is critical to your success. You can't just attend an event, hand out a business card and hope for the best. To network successfully, you must first focus on how you can help others to succeed, how you can contribute to their success as well as your own. So good luck and happy networking.